At times as grandparents, we tend to think about the things that we'd like for our grandkids to know, character traits that we'd like for them to learn. And it kind of weighs heavy. I don't know how it is for you, but it does for me. It weighs heavy. I remember how important my grandparents were on both sides in my life. A lot to do with the way that they lived their lives and the kindness that they showed, and just the love that they shared. It meant a lot to me. I'm still trying to figure out how to make my grandmother's biscuits. I just can't seem to get there. Still trying. Keep praying for me. But anyway, it's just something that you think about. What kind of a legacy or heritage are we leaving behind us for our grandkids? Those small ones that are coming up. And I think there's one thing that is often overlooked today. I heard somebody say recently that the Word of God tells us to hate evil, and actually there are at least 4 times in the Old Testament where it does tell us, twice in the New Testament, that we're just simply not to have anything to do with evil, and to be able to understand what evil is and how it affects people. And oftentimes we tend to over-exaggerate things. We like to have things in nice, neat categories. What is evil? Evil is this, evil is that. The truth of the matter is, evil in God's economy is anything that is contrary to or hurtful to His creatures. And I'm talking about those created in His image and likeness. When we do harm to another human being, we're doing harm to a person that was created in the image of and likeness of God. This is, by the way, why many of the philosophical or ideological belief systems that are out there are evil. They're evil because they respect some over others. And you can say, well, what about the United States was built on the premise that justice was to be blind. Now, I'm not saying it is, and certainly I don't believe it to be, and it hasn't been fair throughout all of our history. But it was created on the premise that justice was to be blind, meaning that everyone is to be given equal treatment under the law. I'm not saying that we've lived up to that, but it has been one of the aspirations. And certainly we're closer to it than, if you've traveled at all in this world, we're much closer to it than any of the nations that you will name. I can assure you. But with that in mind, what do we want our loved ones, our little ones, to know, to remember? What do we want to teach them? I think we want to teach them to love the good, to hate the evil. Paul says that we're to be literally wise with regard to that which is good, and ignorant when it comes, or innocent when it comes to evil, in Romans chapter 16, verse 19 and 20. What does that mean? He says that your love in chapter 12 and verse 9 should be without hypocrisy. But then it's interesting. He says you should you abhor the evil and cling to the good. Now, why did he start out with the love issue? Because truthfully, the love of God isn't just simply given to one person, one above another. God expressed His love to all mankind, and He continues to do so. The sun actually came up out here. That's why you have a glare. God lets the rain fall on the just and the unjust. Truth is that God shows His goodness to the entire world. Now, mankind perverts that and distorts it. But we all know that there is good, that God treats human beings with great respect, so much so that He respects them even to make their own decisions. Think about that. To a large degree. God allows us to plan things out. We can't decide how it's going to work out, but in Proverbs 16 and verse 2 and on, we get to plan it ourselves. Why does that matter? Because God created us, in his very image and likeness. And that's why when we speak of another person and belittle them, these people that go online and they are so brave and bold online as to demean or belittle or to lie or to misconstrue or do any of these things that they do through social media or whatever way, they call it doxing. I don't even know what that means, but that's what they do. These people that do that, they don't even realize that they're literally, in a very big way, insulting God himself. He created the people, even if you don't like what they say or do. He created them. So what do we want to teach our loved ones, the little ones in our lives? To respect people. To not always, you don't have to agree. You don't have to believe or do what they do, and there's going to be some people that do things that you want nothing to do with. But respect people. Don't be mean. Don't be hurtful. Don't lie. Don't steal. Don't cheat. Don't misconstrue for your own advantage. There's many things that we could say. Don't think yourself better than another. James chapter 2 and verse 1 through 4, James literally condemns the church there of believers, saying that you've got kind of thoughts that are demonically inspired because you see one as being more important than another. God says, look, I actually have judged people with sickness and even to the point of death in 1 Corinthians chapter 11 and verse 31 and on. He said, if you judge yourselves, you wouldn't be judged. Why? Because they thought that some people should be able to feast at communion and others should starve. They didn't treat each other with respect. God sees this as really important. What do we want to teach our young ones? Don't ever think yourself so incredibly cool that you get to run down another person or belittle them or hurt them. And if you've taught them that, they're just a step away from knowing who God is, because they're respecting the God who created the person. Anyway, friends, till next time, God bless you.